right, here now is forensic criminologist Dr. Laura Petler. As you listen to that, I'm curious your thoughts on these ransom notes from a forensic criminologist perspective as we try to profile who would do something like this and what their motive is.
Good morning, Marni. Yes, I think that they are very interesting now that there are 4 notes. Um, One of the first thoughts that I have is the comparison to the crime scene and that analysis in relation to the victimology and the timeline. I think that the ransom notes, if these are legitimate ransom notes, it shows some organization, some planning, and when you compare them back to what is known about this offender, what is known about Nancy Guthrie, that can a lot of times help us understand if the 4th ransom note is even legitimate at all. We know that she is an elderly woman. We know that she has medical problems. She needs medication. She can't move around. So he's saying, I saw her with them. I think the pronouns are very interesting that are used in the letter. So there is a lot to glean from understanding what could potentially be real and what could be truthful versus what might just be smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, good point, Laura. I want to take you now to the front porch and this surveillance video, some of the best evidence that we've got in terms of seeing the suspect, seeing the gloves, what they're wearing, the backpack, the gun holster. How do you use everything that you see in this video and the images to profile a kidnapper?
So, it's very, very important to keep everything open ended right now, Marni, because we don't have access to the actual case file in this case. But when you are looking at the surveillance video, you actually use the victimology as the foundation. So we understand who Nancy is. Then we take the crime scene analysis, the characteristics of this offender that we see standing on the porch. He's masked, he has a backpack on, he's fully prepared in some ways. And then you see in other ways he is not. So there's a lot of personality characteristics that you can infer from his behavior here. You can also extrapolate on how he thinks. There's a lot of behavioral characteristics that you might also be able to understand the way he physically moves. And all these things can be used to develop a profile or even just a list of traits and characteristics that can help narrow the investigative pool and rule out a lot of people that don't fit into this at all.
I want to key in on what you said there about how he thinks based on how he walks around and the motions and the actions that he takes. What, I'm curious, do you notice from that video?
So for me, I think that it's important to always keep sophistication and organization on spectrums. So instead of saying he's completely organized or he's completely sophisticated in his thinking and his behavior, I think there are elements where he demonstrates planning, he demonstrates ability, but then there's other things that are like completely amateur or inexperienced. So I like to watch offenders move around. I like to watch them talk to people because it helps me understand the overall and overarching premises of how they think and what's important to them. And right now, what we can see that it's important to him is being armed, being in power and control, and trying to block that camera. So what he knows exactly what he's doing. He knows it's wrong. He knows what he doesn't want to be identified. There's several things about his psychology that we can infer here just by the way his body language is just moving around that porch. And he's comfortable. He's familiar. And that lends a lot to his psychology. Somebody that's comfortable doing this is a huge problem.
Yeah, and familiar potentially with her house as well. As I've said a number of times, having been out here on the scene, this is not an easy place to find, especially in the middle of the night when it's pitch black. Thank you so much, Laura Peltler, a forensic criminologist, a doctor. Your expertise is greatly appreciated.